Hello, I'm Chase Dynamite. Guys, you are in for a treat today for the films I'm reviewing to end Warner Bros. Month. And by the way, I'm sorry I've been a little delayed, even though it's summer vacation. But I've had a lot of fun stuff on my mind, and I've been having a little bit of change of plans lately. That's why it's been taking so long to make this. Besides, I hope it doesn't take me very long to make this review, past 15 minutes, or YouTube might not be able to post it. Anyway, today we are gonna look at some films that I've always watched like every year. They are some of my favorite films. Even they are some of the first films I've ever seen. And even they have maybe ended, but we all still like them. And besides, there was even a fandom on them. They are called Potterheads. And I think I'm one too, even though I've never been to any of the conventions. But yes, we are looking at Harry Potter series. Like my shirt. I love these movies. Let's start with the first one. And just a quick fact, the first one, this Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, was the first movie I ever saw. And sometimes people will always wonder what's the first movie they ever saw. Well, now you know. Well, now you know the first movie I ever saw. First of all, they did really good with making all these movies to film. First of all, let's talk about the cast. This is some of the best casting I've ever seen since The Lord of the Rings. Especially the three main characters, Daniel Radcliffe, Rupert Grint, and Emma Watson. They are some of the best child actors I've ever seen besides Elijah Wood. Like I said, I haven't seen this good casting since Lord of the Rings. That especially means Elijah Wood. And there's lots of other people in here, other famous people in the cast in here. There's John Cleese, Robbie Coltrane. John Cleese, I really like John Cleese. Robbie Coltrane, Warwick Davis, Richard Griffiths, Richard Harris, Ian Hart, John Hurt, one of the best actors of all time. Well, not exactly in my opinion. I mean, I do like his movies, but people say he's one of the best actors of all time. Alan Rickman, Fiona Shaw, Maggie Smith, and Julie Waters. Another thing I really like about all these movies is the visual effects. From the magic to the creatures, just to everything. My favorite visuals in here are I like the broomsticks and stuff, and all the magic spells, from the explosions to everything. But my three favorite visual effects in here are Fluffy, the three-headed dog, Norbert, the Norwegian Riksback dragon, and the chess game. And besides, that's one of the most threatening chess games you'll ever come across. So if you ever enter that game, you ever watch your moves and stuff, because if you want to survive. It's not like a game. Okay, it is a game, but it's not like just a little game of chess. It's a big game of chess that you have to win if you want to survive. By the way, this is one of the last movies by Richard Harris before his death in 2002. May he rest in peace. Also, he's not the only actor in Harry Potter that's died. Just last year, the guy who played Uncle Vernon, he died last year. And even though Uncle Vernon was really a mean person in the Harry Potter movies, he still was performed really well. especially making a character who shows a great example of how treating a child badly is. And there's another thing that I like about these Harry Potter movies. John Williams. He's one of my favorite music makers ever. He does really. You may remember him who did the music for Star Wars and many other famous movies. He does really good at making music in this and the other movies. And what makes it so good is because it's like epic. Can be catchy sometimes, and it even makes it mysterious sometimes. This is a great book adaptation. I recommend this movie, especially in my 2002 almanac. It said that this is one of the greatest movies of all time. And by the way, let's talk about Daniel Radcliffe real quick, and something else too. Daniel Radcliffe is one of the best child actors I've ever seen. Even in my 2002 almanac I got last year, J.K. Rowling seems to agree with me. Well, I've never met her, but she seems to agree with everyone who likes Daniel Radcliffe. We could have never found a better Harry. Oh, and by the way, there's something else I really like in this movie. It's the feast table in Hogwarts. In fact, everything is good in Hogwarts. They would make me want to go there someday, even in Universal Land. So I give this movie 5 stars. Now let's move on to my second one, which I liked even more than the original. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. This film is even better. First of all, let's talk about the mystery. This movie always gives me chills in a good way. This is so mysterious and so sometimes scary. It just feels good. Especially from the basilisk to people getting petrified. And John Williams' score, just like I said, it's really great. He makes, for some reason, it sounds even more mysterious and chilling than the last movie. Also, the acting is still really good with some new actors. And the visual effects, don't get me started. From Dobby to the Rogue Bludger to the Polyjuice Potion, to the Diary, and the big spiders. Those are really threatening. Oh, and the flying forward car in the movie. But my favorite of these has to be the Basilisk. Well, actually, one of my favorites is the Basilisk. Because it's so threatening, it looks really cool for a snake, and it's just, really, who knew a snake could talk? John Williams does even better with this. Oh, and by the way, these people say the first two are more considered family films, because that might be true, even though Prisoner of Azkaban is rated PG too. Anyway, let me talk about the cast. Well, of course, there's the first 3 ones. Kenneth Branagh, John Cleese, Robbie Coltrane, Warwick Davis, Richard Griffiths, Richard Harris, Jason Isaacs. Really, he's one of the things that makes this movie like mysterious, from his bag of style, like speaking so free, but still being bad guy. Alan Rickman, Ian Shaw, Maggie Smith, and Julie Waters. I would recommend this as much as the first film, and it's another great book adaptation. In fact, I even watch this film every year. And in this, Harry proves he's not only a wizard, he's a hero. And that's really impressive. I give this film 5 stars. Hold on. Okay, we better hurry before I get past 15 minutes. First, now let's talk about Prisoner of Azkaban. Pretty much the same thing as the first 2 movies. Sure, it might not be much. It might be more of a young adult movie, despite being PG rated. But still, this, unlike the first 2 movies, which never got an Academy Award nomination for Best Visual Effects, this, for some reason, the Academy finally got the brains to nominate this movie. And, I mean, look at all the effects in this. A werewolf, a hippogriff, time travel, and many other things. I like the werewolf and the hippogriff the most. And they got a new cast. They got Robbie Coltrane, Michael Gambon. This is the first time he's played Dumbledore after the last Dumbledore died. Richard Griffiths, Gary Oldman, the guy from The Dark Knight, and many other movies. It's great. Alan Rickman, Fiona Shaw, Maggie Smith, Timothy Spall, David Thewlis, Emma Thompson, and Julie Waters. You know who directed this? The same guy who directed Gravity. This is why I was so excited to see Gravity, because it was by the same guy who made the Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, so you knew it was going to be awesome. And the visual effects award nomination wasn't the only nomination Prisoner of Azkaban got. It even got a nomination for Best Original Score for John Williams. And by the way, John Williams has been nominated for an Academy Award for Best Visual Effects. Best Original Score a lot of times. So yes, this is as good and even more great than I wouldn't say more great, but I mean, it's, okay, I would. This is as great as the originals, especially adding some new songs and stuff, and just making it sound majestic and stuff, and even mysterious as much too. Also, it's weird. Even though the Dementors are really scary in the movie, they're really cool and badass. They kind of remind me of the Black Riders from Lord of the Rings, kinda. And there's another thing I like about this movie. It's also some of that wacky humor. Sure, this might be more for young adults, but there are some wacky moments in there, from the night bus to Aunt Marge blowing up, and many other things, like the Monster Book of Monsters versus Harry Potter. I give this the third film 5 stars. Now we're on to the first PG-13 Harry Potter rated movie, The Goblet of Fire. This got only one Academy nomination for Best Makeup or something. This time it's directed by Mike Newell, who you may remember as the guy who directed Prince of Persia. This is really great. It stars Robbie Coltrane, Ralph Fiennes. I really like Ralph Fiennes. He's a really good bad guy. He's the first guy who did Voldemort. I mean, he's the first guy who actually showed the real Voldemort, like in his full human form. It's got Michael Gambon, Brendan Gleeson, Jason Isaacs, Gary Oldman, Alan Rickman, Maggie Smith, and Timothy Spall. Really, this is really great. The visual effects are really cool. And the dragons are really cool. I can't say even more about it, but it's even got Robert Pattinson in it. So, yeah. Yeah, you may not like him for playing Edward Cullen, but he still really does do really good in this. And also, it's really sad when he dies at the end. Even though you don't like him as Edward Cullen. So I give this film 5 stars. Okay, I'm out of time. I don't want to go past 15 minutes. Like my shirt, by the way. And this is Chase Dominate signing out, and I'll review the last 4 films. And I hope you enjoyed my first review.